Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me out there? Hey, Brittany, we just got your voicemail. You can re-record it if you want. I won't judge you. It's high stakes leaving a voicemail. Good morning, Diane. We'll get started in 4 minutes. Hello, Annie. If anyone's doing Black Friday at a Walmart, just throw my live stream on all the cheap TVs they're trying to sell. What up, Vicky?
Santa to the boy child, what have you been longing for? All I want for Christmas is a rock and roll electric guitar. And away with Rudolph, blazing like a shooting star. Run, run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. And away with Rudolph, feeling like a merry-go-round.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Bachelorette Recap, a guys review. It's a week 7 time. Happy Black Friday, everybody. Let's go to a bigger screen there. There it is. Your boy's over here in the kitchen, switching things up. You know, I never wanted to do my recaps in the kitchen acoustically. There's less depth of field, but I do feel very nice having a command center with my candle turned coffee mug All right, let's start this off by reading some of your messages here. Hey, Teresa, how are you? How was Thanksgiving in Phoenix? Sorry we couldn't make it. I really did want to teleport over there, though. If you got any stuffing, just let me know. Wouldn't it be nice if you could Venmo somebody your leftovers? I would just be, please give me stuffing. Yes, Trisha, chill vibes today. We're going to keep it at 30 to 40 minutes. Got a busy day today. Going to go try to find a careful, guys. It's not worth it. You know, they put cheap parts in the Black Friday stuff they sell you. Did you guys know that? On Black Friday, they'll sell you a TV, but they'll put a cheaper part. I don't know what the parts are, but they're cheaper. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to buy a 50-inch TCL for $499, but on Black Friday it's $415, just know they're not losing money, okay? I just wanted to let you guys know that. A heads up from your boy. Oh, that's happy birthday. Sorry, I meant to do this one. Hold on, guys. I meant to do this one. You know, now that you get to see me work, you get to see me fuddle around with the buttons here. It's not all, I don't have an assistant here doing this for me. Voice feels kind of low today. Feels kind of good. You can tell I got a little bit of cranberry sauce stuck in the old lozenge. All right, Jen Murphy, what's happening? How are you? Thank you. I did have a good Thanksgiving. I know in Canada you didn't. What do you guys do? I mean, this is going to be very self-centered, I guess, as of a thought. But what do Canadians do on American holidays like the American Thanksgiving, or I should say the United States of America Thanksgiving? I know Canadians and Mexicans don't like when we refer to ourselves as Americans because you guys are also North Americans. Anyway, moving on. Trisha said, setup looks comfortable. That's a nice way to put it. Yeah, it's very comfortable over here. Cries, C-R-Y-S. Is it cries or is it Chris? Whoa, watching while heating up the sand. Yeah, you're right, because it's all about time and effort put into something. You know what I mean? Like if you had to hike across the desert for a nice glass of water, that's going to taste better than just sticking your head under the faucet, right? Interesting. All right, Teresa, what do you got for leftovers? What are you cooking up today? Do you find that you cook food specifically to accompany leftovers? Because I always make extra cranberry sauce because I feel like it goes with other food products. Throw a little cranberry sauce on it. It's fine. Now, we couldn't find, I think it's because everyone had small Thanksgivings this year, or a lot of people had small Thanksgivings. The smaller turkeys were hard to find. So as you guys saw, I posted on Instagram, one turkey I found was $145. I ended up finding a 15-pounder for $30. That was the cheapest I was willing to find. I'm sure there was something cheaper out there, but still, a 15-pound turkey for two people. We got about 14.8 pounds left to eat. So we've already frozen some of it for future soup, and we're gonna work on it today. But I haven't even looked at those turkey legs. Those things, they scare me. You know what I mean, guys? Sabine said, just randomly logged on to YouTube and saw that you're live. Yeah, Sabine, thanks. You know, I didn't overly promote that I was going to do a 10 a.m. Black Friday episode, but obviously with Thanks It Up on Friday morning, and then people could watch throughout the day. That was the plan. So we're going to talk a few things Bachelor related here. As you see, let me get my picker out. I'm getting so much better at this. We've got Bachelor Nation. We'll just do some talking about Bachelor Nation, some diverse conversations, Flora's Lava, home stretch, and voicemails. You know, these topics, as you know, become more loose and loose as we just get the conversation rolling. A lot of heavy things happened, or actually I should say a few heavy things happened this week that I don't want to bring the mood down, but well wishes to Ashley Spivey and her family. She gave birth to a stillborn baby. I mean, Jesus Christ. Prayers to her, right? 7 months pregnant. I don't know the scientific term. Umbilical cord suffocated the baby. Crazy. Don't mean to bring the mood down, but well wishes to her. Makes us remember that these contestants, these reality show people that we sometimes say are just looking for fame or the verification check mark. They're humans too. And their lives can suck sometimes, and their lives can be great sometimes. We've watched, families be made through the Bachelor Nation. They're humans just like us too, and there's this unsettling need to feel like we all belong, I guess. So you see these people with ripped abs, and you see these couples that get married for 5 years and then they get divorced, and we know the common denominator of their story, and it sucks, and it's things that everyone goes through. I think it's very brave for people to talk about that on social media. Not an expert, as I've said, but I do realize that there is a stigma with certain conversations on social media. You know, as a guy, if you asked me a couple years ago what I thought the percentages were of, stillbirths or, miscarriages, you'd go, I don't know, 2%. What do I know? I got nothing to, and then you just realize, wow, there's really a lot more of a collective trauma that happens and that's not talked about, at least in situations that are out in the open. And I think we're getting into that place, and it's up to the, obviously, people that are going through their hard times to decide if they want to talk about that or not. But I think when you do talk about it and open up, you realize you're not alone. A lot of other people are going through tough situations, some that I hope that I never have to personally know about. But it's interesting. It's interesting out there. So well wishes to that family. And what else do we got here? I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about, but it's just, some people have some tough news out there, to enter happiness and sadness, right? It is just going to exaggerate whatever the mood is you think you've got. If you're not with your family, you're going to know it. Christmas, maybe it snows that year, you get the fireplace, this or that. It's an interesting time, and it's a time for us to slow down. Finish the year strong, mentally getting whatever we wanted to get accomplished, and cutting ourselves slack. If 2020 is not the year for us to cut ourselves slack, I don't know what is, guys. Like it's like when you're a baseball player, you strike out 3 times. Hey, it wasn't your day. Well, you know what? 2020, not our year. Not our year. Let me read a few comments here. It's hard to talk and read at the same time. These conversations because there's too much shame attached to it. You're absolutely right. It all comes down to shame. And that's why I even mention it, because it's like, I think most men are wanting to have that conversation, or at least lend an ear and hear about it. But for whatever reason, and it might be less a gender thing and more just in my 20s, I didn't hear about that more. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's more of a gender thing. But I think it's, like, get with it. Men, in the past have kind of been, ostriches, putting our heads in the sand to certain issues, and that emotional weight shouldn't be bared by one person. I think we're getting there. But anyway, this is the type of conversation that maybe gets us there faster. I think that's the idea. Is like, how can we get to the HOV lane of making people not feel horrible or extra, getting a mastectomy or getting your balls checked for, testicular cancer? Like, it's these are conversations, I guess. I had to throw the guys in there, but I don't think men are we're such bore-headed idiots. I don't think we've got any shame talking about, Anyway, Lesia, Ashley Spivey, isn't a selfish thing to do for her to open up like that. It isn't a selfish thing. BH, it has to be one of the most frustrating things to be pregnant than yeah, absolutely. Mole people said happy belated Thanksgiving. Jessica said, so sad, so many stories of miscarriage and stillbirth lately, maybe because people have these conversations because there's, sorry, it's hard to read it when it's scrolling. I lost your comment, sorry. But yeah, you're right. I don't think anything's trending in a certain direction as far as like what's happening to people. I think we're just becoming more and more aware and talking about things. Isn't it amazing what can happen when you just talk about things? Wow. Talk about things. Feel better. Realize that we're all flawed. We've all got issues. We've all got a crazy family member. Buffering. Arjen, are you getting a lot of buffering? I hope it's okay. I've moved about 5 feet away from the Wi-Fi from where I used to be. So hopefully it's good enough. Yeah, okay. So let's move it on. Teresa's eating leftovers and making a beef tenderloin with red wine sauce and roasted vegetables. Well, Teresa, I'm on my way. I'm taking Route 10 East, and I'm going to drive until I smell beef tenderloins. Jen said, the Canadians do nothing on this day. They just take advantage of early Black Friday deals. We have Black Friday here, too, for some reason. You know what's interesting? My buddy Andy, I have never fact-checked this, but my buddy Andy says that his grandfather invented Black Friday. His grandfather was a billionaire. And my buddy Andy, if you want to donate to the Patreon. It's all marketing, folks. The reason I think Thanksgiving is still the least corporatized holiday out there. I mean, you can't have an Easter Sunday. Easter's supposed to be about Christ rising from the dead 3 days after Good Friday, yet we got just bunnies made of chocolate. You know what I mean? Christmas is obviously corporatized, but it's still, you still get the messages there. 4th of July is nothing but fireworks made in China. Right? I wonder on 4th of July how much money our country gives to China. That's the most American thing you can do is like, you know what? The Chinese, they make cheap fireworks and we're going to light them off. And this year in Los Angeles, they lit them off for about 45 days straight. Alrighty. Susan said maybe these conversations will take us to a kinder, gentler nation we have longed for. You know, Susan, there's been some people that, let's go to the small green screen. Oh, there. Oh, geez. Wow, look at that. That's a lot of fun. How do I get rid of this window? Oh, there it is. There's a lot of people that, I'll say this. You see, I always look on the Bachelor subreddits, the Facebook groups, just to see what people are saying about an episode. I probably wouldn't care too much other than it's nice to see what the dissenting opinions are or the, groupthink is going into these types of seasons. And then I did see somebody who says, and again, we're referencing Ivan's conversation with Tayshia, Mexican parents. Could be wrong. Point is, they have a conversation about being biracial in Southern California, about trying to fit in, about Black Lives Matter movement, and apologies for my woke Southerners, but I just like it's an easy accent for me to mess up. But they're always like, I don't know, I just come to Bachelorette because I want to unwind. I don't want all this talks about politics. When did human rights become politics? When did everyone wanting equality become politics? You know what I mean? And this was the same thing when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, to protest against police brutality. I don't know. I just want to watch football so I can get away from politics. It sounds like you just want to find places to not confront the issues we still have in our country. And like we were talking about, having diverse opinions and a diverse culture comes with not needing everything to be watered down to appease certain people. You live on a cul-de-sac, you might not have the marches, the rallies in your face. I can't completely understand, of course, but living in Hollywood and having lived in Harlem and having lived in a Mexican neighborhood in Boston, I've always lived in the outer fringes of cities. It's more of a socioeconomic decision. I think we would all love to live in a nice gated house in Beverly Hills. Wouldn't we all love a nice pool? But hey, when you're living outside the cusp of that, you are in a mixed community. I mean, our building's got everything from interracial couples, gay couples, there's a trans lady who lives downstage. I mean, it's like it couldn't be a more diverse melting pot. You put anybody in the world, you put Garrett in this building for 1 year, just checking the mail, you're going to get it more of a culture, mixture than you would, 5 years, hunting quail with your buddies. Not to say hunting quail is bad. Grew up in an all-white school. 2 black guys moved in, immediately became the stars of our football team. We had 2 black guys. If it wasn't for the Naval War College being in our hometown, we would never have diversity because that's just what it was. So there's no fault to people that didn't grow up with diversity or differencing of opinions or this or that. There's no fault to anybody. But the point is, when given the chance to listen to other conversations, take it. When given maybe not during COVID, but the idea is like having lived in New York City. I actually, and again, this could just be my own recounting, but living in New York, I felt like much less racial tension and divide than living in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is a very isolating city. It's very segmented. I mean, you've got Thai-town, Little Armenia, Little Ethiopia, Tokyo town, whatever. You've got all these little areas, and it's a melting pot. Like we live in Koreatown, the highest Korean population outside of North or South Korea. But there's also a ton of Mexican American strap hanger. It's a crowded subway. It's hot. The AC's off. You're swaying. You're bouncing. You're just hitting some on one end you got some tall dude, so you're just hitting his waist, and on the other end you got some lady's boobs. It's just you're rattling off of each other. You know what I mean? You like that? That's my dance moves, by the way. It's just rattling off each other. So anyway, in some scenarios, people go, well, it's all these major cities they're all these Democratic run major cities, or are they Democratic run because of the diversity that lives within those hubs? I don't know. again, not to make it political. I come to your recaps not to deal with politics. It's hard to untangle it all. Leslie said, Dave, are you a New England Catholic? Lapsed? What does lapsed mean? I was raised Catholic in New England. Yes. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to some of these comments. US 834 said media portrayals are a huge help too. I remember then including it in How to Get Away with Murder. Well, yeah, How to Get Away with Murder is it's Shonda Rhimes, right? She's a black showrunner, and a showrunner is the most powerful position in Hollywood. It's the person who makes the projects. Like Chuck Lorre is a powerful showrunner, right? Who did 2.5 Men, and Rhonda Shimes does How to Get Away with Murder and a couple others. Yeah, I've worked some crew jobs on that show, and yeah, it's super diverse, and the diversity's there. And again, I'm not trying to get into these conversations of make affirmative whatever. The point is that when it comes to just listening to a conversation when it exists, enjoy it with just a fresh, I don't know, like eating a new dish of food. Because what you realize with Ivan and Tayshia is that the conversation's not that foreign. It's not that foreign. You could probably empathize with it in your own certain way when you felt like you didn't belong or this or that. And now I know Rachel, of course, Rachel Lindsay, first black bachelorette from a few years ago, she had mentioned that she wanted Tayshia to go farther in on the conversation. And look, Rachel, love her. I think nothing will ever be good enough for her. For Tayshia to be on national TV and even be talking about Black Lives Matter must be very challenging because it for some reason has become polarized in ways that that did bring politics into an otherwise like feminist over. Let's do this one. Hold on, folks. Hang in there. All right, we're going to this webcam. I don't know why we lost that. Maybe hold on one. You know what? Hold on 1 second, guys. I think I can fix this webcam quickly. Hold on. I'm stuck. Nah, we'll go with this one. The lighting's actually pretty good for this webcam today. So we're back on this webcam. I don't know what happened. It's gone. How many minutes? We're 26 minutes in? Oh, I should have made at least 45. I haven't had a problem with that in a while. Look at that. Hold on, let's get that. Wow, that's looking good. All right, here. What do we got here? Leslie said, lapsed just means you're no longer practicing, or like CE Catholics, you only show up for Christmas and Easter. Yeah, I would go with that. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I feel like Catholicism, at least where I grew up, it's kind of like Judaism, right? You can be like culturally Catholic. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to ask me any questions about it, go for it. I just, I'm not one of those guys that was like royally messed up from a childhood or anything. It's just I'm more spiritual, I think, now than anything. There are teachings that are good within the Catholic Church. I have an uncle who's a Catholic priest. There's also, of course, any organization is going to be riddled with, if Joel Osteen's church was as big as the Catholic Church globally, you'd probably have just as many issues of complete BS going on. But instead, you get some like pastor in South Carolina blows a guy in an airport, and it's like, all right, that's one and done. But when you attach the Catholic Church to it, not to mention all the instances of course, sweeping things under the rug still to this day, it's going to be a long road to repair. But anyways, if you have any questions about my experience or my beliefs, I'm happy to share them. I don't know if it's pertinent to the discussion of Ivan and Tayshia. Maybe it is. Jessica said, nothing is even good enough for Rachel. She's so judgmental about everything. I like her overall. Yeah, and being judgmental is not a bad thing when you're in her position. I mean, you have to remember, they are trying to make entertaining content. She's obviously somebody who's, maybe if I raise this, hold on. I'm going to raise my laptop. I might break everything right now, but if I just raise it up, it might give me a better eye line. Yeah, that's not too bad. So, so with Rachel, she's got to make content. It's just like these cable news shows. They need content every day. So I do understand when they're trying to like poke at things. And Rachel, she probably did want Tayshia to talk more, but Tayshia like let her have. But I think it was a big first step for her to have a real sincere conversation with Ivan. And I think by like she was sort of biting her lip about her points of view, I think it was good to show that she was kind of hesitant to share, and I think it made it just that much more less agenda driven. You know what I mean? If she showed up and was like, okay, so part one of my, it would be kind of be like, all right, what are you trying to push here? Versus her actually being like, here's my story, here's where I struggle with fitting in. And then, of course, Rachel, as the lawyer that she is, kind of cross-examines Tayshia and says a lot of, she's like, well, why do you feel like you have to fit in? Is it because you want to be white? And it's this and that. It's like, well, I think it's natural in any society to want to fit in. I mean, look at Madonna. She moves to England and she's got a British accent 3 days later. It's natural to want to mimic others vicariously. You get in a relationship, you start talking like the other person. You start sharing this group kind of mind. Anyway, let's move on. So Jessica said, Lesia disagrees, which is fine. It's healthy. We can all disagree. She said, I think she uses her voice and platform to try to move the conversation and make things better, even if that means disrupting things or making people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, look, I mean, there's times I side with Rachel and times I side against her. I've thought with some issues with like Garrett, and certain things that like, you could be more compassionate to learn how to communicate with people versus slam them. Same gripe I've had with Becca with a KH, is that her name? Becca? Am I pronouncing that right? Maybe no, Becca, little bit. So sometimes you got to make someone an example to really. Now the question is when does a pendulum swing too far? When does someone get a raw deal? Plenty of times, a lot of these, villains of the show get a raw deal. We haven't really seen a villain since Yosef left. Yosef. By the way, shout out to Oz. You're not here, and I feel like I didn't do you good and get you enough of a heads up to join the conversation. So I apologize, Oz, if you didn't know we were doing a morning recap here today. It's okay that you couldn't fit us into your schedule. I don't want to make it sound like, where are you, Oz? I'm going to play a few voicemails here. Let me see. Someone says they agree with Rachel, honestly. It felt like it was a missed opportunity for necessary conversation with an audience that is finally starting to pay attention to racial issues. Yeah, well, but look, you got to look at it in Tayshia's shoes. She didn't know she was going to have that conversation. She didn't know that it was going to go there. So, it can be very tough for people. As charming and as outgoing as Tayshia seems, she's not like a known public speaker. She's, she was on a dating reality show, kind of thrown into this conversation where she might normally have a decent opinion, but knowing the size of her platform right now, I'm sure she's kind of like, all right, how do I say what I want? Because so much of communication is knowing how you feel in here and in here and getting it out of your mouth. And some people are better at that than others. And it doesn't mean someone is smarter than someone else. It's just some people are better at literally the art of saying what they think eloquently and getting it out. And he said, I saw it was their first real date, and they will go more in depth as their relationship progresses. Maybe. I don't think their relationship's going to progress much. I could be wrong. I feel like they had a deep connection, but I don't know if it's really hard to read Tayshia, don't you guys think? She's so sweet to everybody. All right, I'm going to play a voicemail. Let's see if I can get this voicemail going. I think I only have one. Let's see. I have two. Who was it? Who was it earlier I was talking to that left a voicemail? You didn't leave another one, so I'm going to play the one you left me, okay? You didn't leave another one. Let's see. I think this is Oz. Let's play Oz first.
Dave, it's Oz. So the Bachelor finale is on December 22nd. So Matt James is coming up right after that. But I wanted to talk about Ivan. He's like such a nice guy, such a nice introspective nice guy, thoughtful. It was a great conversation they had, about race and everything. He's just such a nice guy. He's the best tennis player in Bachelor Nation. He played tennis in high school, and he played in the USTA 16 and under championships. So he's a jack of all trades. He's definitely the best, but he might be headed for Heartbreak Hotel. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't made up my mind, but everybody out there in Bachelor Nation and listening, have a good week, and we'll talk later. Okay, bye.
Oz with the Bachelor Trivial Pursuit. Thank you, my man. Very interesting. I didn't know he was such an athlete. Very interesting. Love a good athlete on the show. Very soft-spoken. He's kind of got this like David Blaine. Is that weird to say? Because they kind of have, I don't know. But he's kind of got this like soft kind of confidence to him. And maybe it was just that conversation they were having. You know, it's such a gentle topic to discuss. I feel like interesting. Very interesting. We just had a comment. And Television Master had a great point. He said, Tayshia, until you call her, she's really sweet until you call her disingenuous. And then she goes into full Clare beast mode. Ouch. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Wasn't that weird how, who even started that? Noah? Noah started that. Noah basically said, I tried to even explain this last live stream. It's so complicated to explain, but Noah's basically saying, well, hey, you know, some of the guys thought that you gave me the roast just to stir things up. And then she took that, if the guys think that I'm just trying to stir it up, then the guys think that I don't really care. So these guys don't value me. And she took it from like A to Z, which, you know, happens. But then, you know, it was so funny. Wasn't it so funny when she confronted all the guys and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, can someone explain to us? Like, and then my favorite part was the guys were like, who talked to her last? Who talked to her last? And then Noah's like, I did. And they're like, you know, it's so funny how you got to untangle the Christmas lights of the drama, if you will. So funny. All right, should we play our next voicemail? User 834 said, let's be honest, we all simp for Ivan. Again, sorry, I'm too old. I don't know what that means. You're going to have to spell that one out for me. I've been called a simp before, and I don't think that's a good term. Is it? I always think of Simpsons. User 834 said, I wanted more of the Asian guy. He was funny, sweet, and smart. Yeah, his name was Joe, and he was. He'll be a fixture within the Bachelor community, I believe. But yeah, the question is normally you get Bachelor in Paradise, which is what will elongate a lot of the careers of Bachelor contestants. Will they do that this year because of the virus? I don't see why they couldn't. They've already got that many people on the show on The Bachelor, but they haven't yet. I don't think they've filmed anything. They've got Bachelor coming out like January 4th or something, and then as Oz said, December 22nd will be the finale of The Bachelorette. So let's see if the 22nd is the finale of The Bachelorette. Let me go through my so today is Friday the 27th, right? So that means we've got 4 more shows. That about lines up. 8, 9, 10, 11 total shows. So Tayshia's got a raw deal about whether or not she's going to find love. I mean, it's a quick one. It'll be interesting to see. All right, some more questions here. Noah should have kept silent. Why cop to getting Tayshia riled up? He should have said, who knows, girl is tripping. Yeah, I guess the idea is like he knows his role on the show. He knows that he's Bachelor fan takes top 4. Ivan, Ben, Noah, and Zach. Zach's an interesting one to me. I mean, I like him. I'm just like kind of surprised. You know, there's so many like, I think he must carry himself very well because I don't know. What do I know? You know. Everyone's attracted to different things. Noah as a Final Four, sure, young for her, but sure. Ben, interesting, early connection, but then where has he been? No pun intended. But then he comes late at night and he kind of grabs the bull by the horn. My thing with Ben is that it looks like, honestly, I'm that same type where I'm like, look, I want to spend time with her, but I'm not trying to ruffle feathers in the house. So like, I'll let everyone have their conversation, and then I'll have mine. And he got the raw deal, and it was too late. And that's the problem with the show is, and I get it for drama's sake, but the show should never be about like how many. The show should never be about how many. The competitiveness of just getting stage time with her. You know, like in what world do you compete against other people for stage time with somebody? Maybe initially when you're at the bar, you're trying to like meet somebody, but for the most part, you're not competing with other people to, for like who's going to be able to get, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I could see where Ben was coming from with wanting to just like play along, not ruffle feathers, and then have his moment. That's a good quality to have in a guy. It doesn't mean he's not going to fight for you. It just means like he played a certain hand, and she was like, I'm going to need you to step it up here. And he was like, all right, okay. You want me to step it up there? I can step it up there. I just, and he was trying to do something else. So, hey, I can't judge these guys. No one's ever been in a situation like this before. Diane said no one needs to get booted off. Everyone needs more Bennett. He's the whole show for most of us. Yeah, Bennett's a cool guy, but Bennett's getting himself into trouble with these younger guys because he's trying to be that, like, I'm older so I know more. That doesn't play well. That's not going to work. It might be true. You might know a little bit more, but it's not going to play well. Like Tayshia's not going to choose you over Noah because you know more about the stock market. That's just not going to happen. It might be a good value added for you, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, whatever happened to Brendan? Brendan, is he going to be top 4, or did that fizzle out? Chris said, do you think that Peter's woman will be axed out of paradise and it just becomes Tayshia and upcoming Bachelor woman? Bachelor airs in January. Well, somebody's going to get axed out of it. I mean, there's only so many spots they can fill. So when new people come along, they're more valuable in these shows' eyes than past people. You know, that's just the way it works. Let's play our next voicemail. I'm not going to go too long today. I don't want to steal your time. May I steal your moment? Here we go. Let's play our next voicemail here. Oh, it's so much easier to do this all sitting down. I might have to make this my permanent spot. And by the way, I wanted to shout out, I'm going to be doing Vlogmas this year, December 1st to the 25th. If you guys could do me a solid and start watching my vlogs, that would be so nice. I have a whole playlist of vlogs. They're kind of fun. They're cool. Like I get to show off my a little bit more of my filmmaking than this. I try to tell a little bit of a story. But if you guys can start watching my vlogs, it'll help YouTube realize. It'll help tell YouTube that people aren't here just to see my Bachelor recap stuff. Because to be honest, if I don't post something that says Bachelor recap in the title, they don't show it to people. It's very frustrating. It's just the way the niche game works. You have to make half your content be super specific, and then half the things that you actually want to do. Not to say I don't like to do this, but like to think there's more to offer than just giving my my gossip opinion on Tayshia's the jiggle in her dress, if you will. Television Master Canadian Blake is really blowing it. You can't just be sweet guy and get the win. He has to step it up. Oh yeah, but if I'm Canadian Blake and I'm like, look, let's just be as sweet as possible so that Bachelor Nation loves me, and we'll move on from there, because I don't think he's gonna make it too far. Hey, Amy Mitchell's in the house. She said, keep going. She's got a few more batches of soap to make. Amy, we gotta help you make that soap here. Thank you so much for sending the soap, Amy. Everyone go support Amy on Small Business Saturday. Or how about this? Support Amy on Send Your Friend Soap on Friday. Record. Oh, okay. Well, what's her criminal record here? Let's see if we can defend her. I mean, maybe she, maybe she got drunk one day and stole some, Forever 21 outfits. You know what I mean? Like, I could forgive her for that, But then again, if she like punched a child, maybe not. I'd like to know the kind. When someone has a criminal record, and like I said, from the United States, I'd like to know what that record is, because God knows that they like to lock us up. Some Akon song. All right, here it is, Brittany. You didn't send me a new voicemail, so we're playing it.
Oh my God, this is weird. Anyways, this is Brittany Wondrigan from St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. And I actually made your live stream. I'm waiting. I got 12 minutes to go. Anyway, there's been a lot of hot takes online and on other Bachelorette podcasts. So what's your hot take on Tayshia not being her real self, and she's being a little fake? Yeah, I think I can agree somewhat. And I do think that she's playing very hard to get with the roses. I actually listened to Bachelor fan take, and he had some very good hot takes, I must say. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving, because I do think it's Thanksgiving in the U.S. We had Thanksgiving on November the 11th back here in Newfoundland, Canada. Well, bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany from Newfoundland, Canada. I think that's an island in the East Coast, Newfoundland, Canada. Let me just look that up real quick, because I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there it is. You're right up. Oh, are you near Nova Scotia? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, you're way up there. I mean, you got cell phone reception up there. You're basically looking at Greenland right now. Wow, that's pretty far. Let's see. How far would it take for you to get to my hometown in Newport, Rhode Island? Let's see. Not to say I want you to visit, but I'm just wondering. I like to base things off by how far they are. It is you'd have to take a boat. I mean, how do you even get places? You must have ferries, right? I don't need, there's, sorry, your, I said, how long to get there? And it said, sorry, your search appears to be outside our current coverage area. So you can't even drive there. What do you need, like a puddle jumper? What's going on in Newfoundland, Canada? What do you do? Do you fish for whale? What do you do up there? I think you have to fish for whale. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here shortly. But you asked what my hot take was on Tayshia not being genuine. Look, maybe this is why I'm not as popular as fan take or as some people, because I come from this with a little bit of a nuanced approach to how these shows go. I think she's trying to be as real as possible, but I think she's also not trying to say something she's going to regret. I think everyone's like put it this way. If I'm one-on-one with somebody, Robin Williams had a great quote about, let me see if I can find his quote. Robin Williams with 2 or more people quote. I don't know if this is the quote. Let's see if I can find it. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. But the idea was with Robin Williams, he had a great quote that when he's with one other person, it's a conversation. But when there's 2 or more people, it's a show. So the idea is when people are like, oh, you're different when you're with Tayshia than when you're with us. It's like, well, we all have like this like bravado we put on when we're presenting ourselves in a certain way. We have different survival tools, techniques, ways of living. I don't think it's fake at all. Oh, Oz is here. Hey, Oz, I just played your voicemail. We were just shouting you out. Everyone was saying, where's Oz? Where's Oz? No worry, Oz. Thanks for coming. I'm just going to be wrapping it up soon. I did with Clare. I definitely could see like the gears spinning in Claire's eyes, being like, oh, she's kind of like not in control of this. Clare didn't feel like she was in control. She felt like she had sort of like this like ego that was just inside her brain pulling the strings. Not in all instances, but when her limbics were flared, she just felt like she, like I love this quote I heard, when you can't control your emotions, you try to control others. And Clare seemed like the type who was trying to control everybody. You better say hi to me the second I walk out here. You guys better fight for me. It's like, whoa, geez, just let the process work. You know what I mean? We're all having fun. They're eating cold cuts. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Let's chill out. And with Tayshia, I don't see any of that. I don't see anything other than somebody who, now don't get me wrong, there's definitely a thought that, well, cheeriness and like overly happiness can be a mask for like someone's own like insecurities. Of course, we've all got that. But I wouldn't put Tayshia in any sort of way where she's calculating above anything else. I think it's complete BS. I mean, you can believe that all you want. I just, from my point of view, I go, I think she's trying the best she can to just be likable. She's kind of like the replacement of the season. She's trying to assert her dominance, who she is, but she's also realizing like she wasn't these guys' first choice. She wasn't Bachelor Nation. She wasn't the producer's first choice. So clearly, like, there's got to be a lot at play there, way more than Clare had. I mean, Clare was the first choice. Clare had months to grow this confidence around who she was, and Tayshia just comes in, like rookie of the year, comes in out of the stands, and next thing you know, she's throwing fastballs. I mean, I give Tayshia crazy amounts of credit for that. And Television Master said, no, I think Dave regrets the decision. He's trying to grow it back. Oh, the mustache? I missed the mustache talk. Jen said, never met a newfie I didn't love. They are good people in Newfoundland. Bernie said, what's with all the rumors about some of those? Me. Maybe he just likes to hang out with his wang out. You know what I mean? Maybe he just likes to get hot with his little trot, Maybe he likes to get cool with his frontal stool. What the fuck? I've lost it, folks. We need to get out of here. Yeah, I had that 70s stash. I had to cut it. We just did our Christmas photos, which I'll be featuring in one of my Christmas vlogs. So like I said, please, if you can, check out those vlogs. I don't have much else to say, folks. Let me see if we got to everything here. Home stretch, Floor is Lava. We didn't really talk about Floor is Lava. My whole point behind Floor is Lava is that I just loved that whole date. I love that they made things sort of, like someone had mentioned, the fact that they're not traveling has made things way more chill, and we've had more of a chance to like explore the nuance, and it's less about like what hotel they're staying at and all the B-roll, which is nice, but it's like that's not what conversations are all about. It's kind of like, I put it this way, it's kind of like how podcasts, everyone said, oh, who's going to listen to a podcast for an hour? There's no bells and whistles. There's no crazy this or that. Well, people will. They've showed that people will carry their attention as they're making their soap. Amy's homemadesoaps.com link in. Anyway, if anyone needs to go buy some soap, go to Amy's. We haven't used it yet. That's a problem with nice soap is you just want to show it off. You don't want to use it. So we got to make sure we use it. but it does look so nice and smells great. So Tasha and myself have to go. We might go look at some Christmas trees. I don't know if we're going to buy them. It's a little early, especially for a small tree. I feel like if you buy a small tree this early, it might not make it all the way. And especially it's so dry in LA. But maybe if we water it right, maybe we can find some. Anyone have any techniques for extending the life of a dying tree? Jamie Rogers said, no shade, you look great without the stash. Oh, thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. It's facial hair. It comes and it goes. I just, it takes a while to grow. I would have loved to keep it a little bit longer, but like I said, we had to take some Christmas photos. Did I get everyone's questions in? Last call for questions. Last call for questions. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning into this early day episode. It's humbling to me how loyal you guys are. It's a small but mighty group of us. It's so frustrating that my last 3 recaps have just like quartered in size. Because here's what I'll tell you. It's a YouTube issue. Because the watch time for the people that did watch, they'll clicks on it and goes, now somebody watches the full thing. So, it's hard to get. 30% is very good. I hang my hat on 30%. So for this last recap to have over 50% retention rate is great. So my question is, are people A, not watching the show? And, because my biggest recap was when Clare's drama. So is there just less drama? So people are watching less recaps? Or am I just like that overflow show that people watch when they're done with Wit and Rye and Bachelor fan take? Who knows? But, no hate to them, staying in my own lane. I appreciate all of you guys that have donated. It has been really, it's made a real difference here in this crazy year of mine. So when it comes to Thanksgiving gratitude, I am completely gratitude for those that have stuck around. It doesn't take much to fill up my love well. It takes like 1 affirmation a week. I could be wrong. Maybe I do need a lot of affirmations, but some of the comments you guys share have been so humbling. And someone left a comment, and I saved it. And I don't know if I have it on my phone. Sometimes I'll screen grab comments when they're so nice. Melissa left a comment on my last recap, and it said, "Not so many people on YouTube are as thankful for their commenters. They just demand comments." Maybe. I think maybe just people aren't good at expressing gratitude, but maybe my response, interesting. Maybe it's being a stand-up comedian. I know without my audience, I couldn't do what I do. Check. I thought I lost my audio. I couldn't do what I do. Appreciation comes from lack. I see so many great people giving me that time, and it's not without notice. I've done stand-up in front of 1 people. I've done it in front of, I think at most was about 600. At a time, and so I know that without that one person or that one couple, the stand-up show wouldn't happen. There's plenty of times when we're waiting to go on stage and they won't start the show till they have 4 people in the audience because it's literally not worth them turning the ovens on in the kitchen. And then they'll just cancel the show. They'll send the waitresses home, which is also another problem with the culture in the United States, that waitresses and waiters get paid like $2 an hour. The fact that they can just show up to work, there's no work, and they just cut them. It's like, well, what the hell? It's ridiculous, right? But anyway, I digress. The point is that I appreciate I could not do this recap right now in previous seasons. I don't think I had the people that would do it. I didn't have the gear to even the knowledge to do a live stream, but also the following's kicked up a lot this season. So I appreciate you guys. There's 48 viewers right now. That's a chunk of people. Let me tell you something. If I could do a stand-up show every night to 48 people for the rest of my life, I would live very comfortably. Okay? That's a draw. So I appreciate you guys. I want it to be 16,000 live at a time, but we'll get there. And then, like I've said before, with Thanksgiving, it's all about understanding what you have and expanding on that. And I've got you guys, and I appreciate that so much. I really do. So let me read a couple more comments and get out of here in a couple minutes. Brittany said, I did say that wrong. My bad. I apologize. I think I was trying to say I think she is doing everything that she thinks audiences would want her to do by picking the wrong dude. Oh, Brittany, yeah, no apology. You don't have to apologize whatsoever. I totally get it. I didn't know if people were seeing something I wasn't seeing. I didn't read other people's. I don't really watch any of the other recappers, so I never know what sort of angle they're taking. I kind of just live in my own universe. But yeah, she's for sure a people pleaser, and I'm sure there's guys that she's. I don't think she's sent anyone home that she should have kept. So, in these earlier episodes when she's sending 4 guys home, it's like, look, Joe's a great guy, but if she didn't see chemistry with Joe, whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, I totally understand how that all works. When he gets down to the final couple, that's when we'll see what her real choices are. More people said that Reality Steve spoiler guy admitted producers gave Ed the wrong room to get that Chris Harrison bromance moment. Oh, of course. Of course. Hilarious moment. They messed with Ed. They were like, oh, you should go see. Absolutely. I would watch this show where the producers, are just punking these contestants. Absolutely. Sanders said your recaps are super fun to watch, Dave, and love that you appreciate all your viewers. I haven't missed one recap, so keep it up. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. I got to go, guys. I said I was going to keep it short. I'm already blabbing. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you're still making soap and you have some more things you want to watch, check out one of my vlogs. I got a whole vlog channel. If you just click the playlist of the vlogs, it'll play all of these so much. Have a safe one out there. Don't buy any electronics on Black Friday. You're not going to get a good deal. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody. Hey, Leslie, a good comment about changing the title of my videos or time I post. I used to post them late at night, and I decided to post them more at a peak hour, which is 8 a.m. Pacific time. But yeah, it's complicated. I try to change all my tag words, and I try to mimic what the other people are doing. Just steal. Brittany, my channel didn't show up in your notifications. What a bummer. Keep hitting the alert button. It'll get there, guys. We saw it with the Colton videos over the summer, when YouTube wants to promote something, millions of impressions. So, we'll get there. I think for Vlogmas, I have a good shot. Trying to make some epic content. Amy, thanks for showing up. Good luck. Keep your focus on mixing that soap. I don't want to mess up any batches. Hey, Weekend Lanny. Yeah, this is a random time. And by the way, thank you for your Venmo. I think you sent me a Venmo donation, Weekend Lanny. Appreciate that so much. There's 2 different Lannys, so I don't know if I have the right one. Adding ginger to your Christmas tree water keeps the needles on longer. Ginger ale. That sounds like a great idea. All right, guys, I got to go. Much love to all of you. Be safe. See you Monday at 4 p.m. Bye, everybody.